Hi guys, Craig here. Welcome back to the channel. I feel like I sort of rushed the video the other day. When I was testing the KickAss 300 watt, there was a bit of scattered cloud. It was coming in and out, and we saw the results of that on the test. It got that sort of that cloud edge burst effect where it was producing more than what it would normally do when you've just laid the panel out on the ground and you're camping, and this is what you would get. Now the advantage I've got today is I've got a little bit more time, and have a look at that perfect day on the far south coast. Little tiny bit of scattered cloud, but look, it's really not going to affect the output of these panels today. Complete full sun. The other thing I've done is, you remember I propped up the KickAss panel and put it on some blocks of wood to try and even up the playing field, so to speak. And I thought about it today and I went, well, why should I even up the playing field? This is how the panel's provided. So let's put it at its maximum angle that it can get. And I'm going to test it with the Thunder, and you can see I put the Thunder up higher. It's on a much higher angle to try and get that efficiency because the sun is low in the sky. And why not take advantage of that? The Thunder comes with longer legs. If you're out camping, you're not going to go out and try and find something to prop the panel up. Also, while I'm speaking here, KickAss did come back to me with the leg issue. That's obviously an issue, and they said, oh, could I repop rivet it back on myself, and they would give me a $50 credit. I thought about that, and I just went, what happens if something happens and the drill gets stuck and I punch through the other side of the panel, and then I've wrecked it, and then they're going to tell me it's my fault? I shouldn't really have to try and repair something that it's broken, and it's broken within using it a couple of times. So there's my little whinge on that. But funny enough, look, the legs are still surviving on the $200 panel. So just to show you what we're putting out today, I've actually now got the Thunder plugged into the 150 charge controller, and it's been stabilizing there for a while now, and it's putting out 190 watts. Now I've already written that up on the board here, 190 watts, and it's a $200 fold out panel, and if you divide 190 into 240, it's about 79.2% efficient. So bang for your buck, I think that's pretty good. Remember when I tested it a month or 6 weeks ago, whenever it was, the best I could get out of it was that 167 to 171. So it has come up a little bit. The sun is higher now in the sky, and I put the irradiance meter out there, which I showed you in my other video. I've got that, and right now it's putting out about 920 watts per square meter. So you can also see, let's just plug the KickAss in, and while we're waiting for the KickAss to reach its maximum power point, I've already tested it, and today it's, funny enough, producing 238 watt. Now 238 watt divided by 300, 79.3% efficiency. So you can see the efficiency of these two panels is pretty much the same. It's within ballpark, but look at the price difference, and that's the kicker, guys, is the price. So okay, it's starting to come up now. I'll just, sorry about the shadow on the camera, not much I can do about that. Maybe if I come from the other side, is that better? Who knows? So here it is, comes up 238 watt, and there you go, guys, 238, which is what I've put up there. Now I reckon that's a fair test, except for the angle, okay? And I'll just pause the video for a second. I'm going to prop up the KickAss, and then I'm going to retest it and see what it puts out. And let's see whether it is worth even worrying about having the flexibility of being able to put the legs out further. And by the way, those legs on the Thunder will come all the way back, and you'll get the same angle as what the KickAss is putting out. So you can put this all the way down if you've got the sun really high in the sky, where this one is limited. So bear with me, I'll prop that up and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've propped up the panel, and as you can see, it's now roughly the same angle and facing the same direction as the sun, as the Thunder 240 watt. You can see how much I had to lift it up there in the video, and I really don't understand why KickAss didn't provide longer legs. It wouldn't cost them any more money, and you'd maximize the output of the panel. So what's it producing now with a slightly better angle? And it's 246 watts. So 246 watt. So yeah, look, it does produce a little bit more, and by producing a little bit more, it's going to increase the panel efficiency. Now, I'm happy with that. I reckon that's more the real world number of this panel. But in saying that, you know, you're going to have to prop it up every time you go out. So it's going to be somewhere between there and there. And what do you do between $750 with a product the legs fall off? Oh, we could probably make that $700 because they've offered me, you know, $50 to fix it myself, which anyway, that is what it is. Or $200 for this panel. You know, would you be better off going out and buying times 3 of these at $600? Sure, it's bulky and you got to carry it around, but you're still cheaper than one KickAss, and you're going to get 3 times the output. I don't know. I know, you know, on an install, if you're traveling for a long period of time and you've got the space, I still reckon I'll go to Thunder. They're easier to put out. You know, I've said it, and I've said it 100 times. You know, that cloudburst effect, we saw, what, 327 watt, and I went, whoa, that's super huge, you know, but it's not going to do that every day, guys. Let's face it. Look, I hope you enjoyed the update. I probably will have a go at trying to fix the panel myself and put the leg back on, but I reckon what's going to happen is the other legs will fall off at some point. So stay tuned for that, and I'll give you an update as time goes on. Thanks, and have a great day. I just thought I'd add this in. It's been about an hour now since I've done the test between the retest between the Thunder and the KickAss, and look, I feel like it's got a little bit warmer outside. You know, look, it hasn't got any, you know, worse. There's not really any cloud coming in over things. So while we've got the chance, I just thought I'd test the irradiance. So there you go. So we were at 920 watts per meter. We're now up to 975 watts per meter. And let's just put that over here. We should get the same sort of number. Okay, it's a little bit higher. All right, so close enough. Let's just go back. So we know in Australia it's 1,000 watts per square metre under standard test conditions. Obviously I don't quite have the eagle the same, but you know, it's good enough, as Craig says, for what we're doing here. So let's just go back over and have a look now. So we were getting, on the previous test, 246 watt on the previous test about an hour ago, and plugged in now, we're still only getting 246 watts. So at 970 watts per meter. Now let's just plug the Thunder in and see if we get the same result. My understanding of how things work is we've gone up 50 watts per square meter, so the output of the panel should have gone up slightly, but it hasn't. It's still at 246 watts. So funny thing is, I did notice a little bit of cloud coming across. No, it hasn't hit us yet. Okay, so let's let the Thunder ramp up and let's see what we get out of that. Hopefully I haven't missed my window and the sun actually is now coming across, but let's just see. Well, there we go. No, so it's still in full sun, but look at that. We're getting 198 watts now. So if we say 198 watts, we've actually come up 8 watts with the Thunder, but we didn't come up anything with the KickAss. You guys tell me why. I don't know. To me, if the output of that come up, why didn't the output of that come up, considering they're at the same angle? I did switch it around a little bit because the sun has moved across, but why didn't that come up and produce the same amount as that? That's now to me, actually better value again, because the higher we get this, the more efficient the panel is. So there you go, guys. 197, 198 watt. I just thought I'd add that one in. I don't know the reason why. Let's put the KickAss back on, to be fair. We've got to give it a minute to find its maximum power point. But it makes me wonder. But look, it still goes back. That is a much easier panel to put out. It's bulky, but it's easier to put out. The Thunder, you know, it actually, the more I use it, the more it starts to feel a bit fragile. Sorry, did I say Thunder? I meant KickAss. The more I use the KickAss, the more I think it's a little bit too fragile. You know, make of that of what you will. It's definitely lighter, but it just doesn't feel as robust in my opinion. So let's just go back to it. 243, it's still finding the maximum power point, but I did see 247 there, so I'm assuming it's going to be about the same. There we go, 244, 247. So let's call it 247. So, okay, I'll concede it came up 1 watt, but is that enough? I mean, you know, that came up a lot more. You would think being a bigger panel at 300 watts, would it come up more than a panel that's 240 watts from 190 to 198? I don't know. Give me some answers. Thanks, guys.